a roll call?
Yes. Ellen Jimenez.
I am here.
Regina Salas.
Present.
Julie Comnick.
Here.
Jennifer Grogan.
Here.
Cody is excused. Michael Marquez. Jamie Thousand.
Perfect. As a reminder, if you're carrying a cell phone, computer, or other sound device, we ask that you turn it off or turn the volume down to minimize disruption to today's meeting. Do we have anybody online for a local check-in? Councilmember Aslan here.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Hey, you want to check in? You have anything to share, say?
No, I don't.
Good to see you yesterday.
Oh yeah, for the trash pickup. Yeah, that was fun over at Flag Tag. Good time. Kind of warm out there.
A little bit.
I did want to say congratulations to Michael. Michael, you have a nice announcement to share. I hope it's public anyway. He was named a Flynn Brown Fellow for 2025. He's gonna love that experience.
Thank you for that.
Congratulations. It's an amazing program.
Yay.
Commissioners, do we have any announcements? Any check-in announcements?
I can announce. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So ArtX events and activations are happening. We had the Car Free Friday for the first Friday Art Walk, and then coming up June Art Walk, some more activations aligned with Art Walk. And this weekend we have an Indigenous Art Market at Coconino Center for the Arts, coinciding with the Futures Indigenous exhibition, which is up through June 8th.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, just an FYI, I am no longer with the Coconino County Workers Development.
Perfect. Do we have any public comments? Jennifer, Commissioner Grogan has an announcement. Wants to remind everyone that June 21st is the 3rd annual Pride Parade downtown Flagstaff and the 29th annual Pride in the Pines Festival. And she hopes to see everyone there. Okay, everybody should have seen the minutes from last month's meeting. They were sent in the email yesterday. I do need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I move to approve the April 24th Tourism Commission minutes.
Perfect. Do we have a second? Michael, you're right
Second.
there. Oh, Jamie. Perfect. Any discussion? If everyone's in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. And then let's go ahead and move on to the reports. We're happy that we get to hear from you guys. All of you guys are not getting cut off today. Maybe. You never know. You never know. You never know. Heather, are you online?
I am.
Wonderful. You're up.
Perfect. Today's going to be a little bit shorter because the Grand Canyon and the Grand Canyon train have not submitted their numbers. So it's going to be a little bit shorter today. But this is the attractions report for April, but reported in May. So here's our snowfall. for 2023 through 2025. In April, we did see a higher than average snowfall amount, leading to Snow Bowl still being open. So yeah, really late winter snow. So that's allowing Snow Bowl to stay open through Memorial Day weekend. But here we have the visitation of all of our attractions. This does include the Grand Canyon train. So I have taken those numbers out from 2024 and 2025. And so we are down significantly more than the past months. But again, this could change with the addition of Rorton Mansion and the Grand Canyon train, which I will, once I get that data, I will update it and send it to you guys. But we are still seeing a bit of a downward trend in visitation overall. And then this hasn't changed because I don't have Grand Canyon's numbers. I've been frantically refreshing it all day and they're still not up for April, unfortunately. So this graph and this graph don't have new data from last month. But again, once I get that data, I will update it and send it off to Carrie so she can send it out to everybody. And then here we have some of the upcoming events. You know, that wonderful summertime, everything is starting to happen. We're still hosting our World Reveals speaker series. We have an Astronomy on Tap coming up next Tuesday at Mother Road, and then Asteroid Day on June 30th. Exact details to come. As I said earlier, Snow Bowl is open this weekend for Memorial Day, Friday through Sunday, with skiing, scenic gondola rides, and just one big last hurrah. And then the Museum of Northern Arizona, they are starting to get on the ball with all of their really fun summer events and stuff like that. So lots of good things on its way. And yeah, it's kind of short and sweet today.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Tourism Commission, thanks for letting us present today. We are going to start, let's see here, I think we switched it around a little bit. So we're going to start with meetings. Do we have Jess online?
Actually, before we go into that, Michael Marquez did ask, is the reduced visitation attributed to international visitors?
Yes. Michael, thank you for the question. We believe so because our domestic visitation seems to be steady. And our international is down about 15%, especially from the European markets, which is our number one market. If you'll notice, we did see a flat occupancy for accommodations in April, but in order to get that, they had to drop their rates a little bit to entice folks to stay here and perhaps in pulling some occupancy out of Williams because they usually are the rate leader in this area. And all we can attribute it to, honestly, at this point is the fact that international is down. Canada is down 35% to the US. Europe is down about 17% to the US, and Asia is down similar to Canada. So for some destinations that rely on international even more than we do, they're down more significantly. It's only about 15% of our total visitation number. So yes, in short.
He also asked how we share this with our congressmen and senators. Heidi said, no, we can discuss.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask our food and beverage partners if they're seeing this decrease like the hotels are.
Yeah, this is Jamie. We're down about 5% across our concepts right now.
and that's year to date or
Or just April?
just April.
Year to date.
I know for us, we have reports for our hotel and others in the area, and everybody's really pacing down for the next few months. Big increases.
Where do you attribute it to?
I think it's a couple things. I think some of it's international travel. I think others are just not traveling right now. I think that they're staying home. I also think that we're just gonna see a lot more short-term bookings from the drive market. Because they don't book out in advance as much as those who do fly out. I think people are just not comfortable traveling right now. In general, finances, economy.
I'd like to, I want to add to my comment. So we're 5% down, but that's really kind of down on units of sale, right? We're strategically raising prices quarterly now when we used to do it 2 to 3 times a year. So the reality is the 5% down could be significantly more than that. But I just kind of wanted to throw that in there because had a conversation recently with someone else. We were looking at the overall sales tax of the city still being the BBB tax, I think, still being slightly up. But a couple of us kind of chuckled because we've easily raised our prices probably 30% in the last year with a very minuscule sales tax increase. So I think that was just worth mentioning.
Yeah, it makes good sense. I mean, we're focusing heavily on the drive market. Anything that's 8 hours or less, so Southern California, all of Arizona, and those have a higher propensity to travel when there's a perceived, looming downturn. And so our focus has been heavily on getting the drive market and also marketing to our direct flight markets. And it's tough. It's tough to buck what's happening economically for the whole country. But we have shifted some focus in terms of really looking more heavily towards the drive market. And we're going to have to do that this summer. We're going to have to get the drive market motivated to come to Flagstaff because that international visitor is highly likely going to be down. The same 15, we're planning on it being down about 15% for the summer. So we've got to try to make up that gap somewhere.
And then a question for Heidi. Are you seeing this at the airport as well?
Chair, thank you for asking. Yes, we are. Okay, let me change my camera out so that you don't see. So I'm gonna fix that. And then I will come on camera. Just a second. Okay, sorry, I was at a library commission meeting and had a different background. Oh, just a second. I have to fix my settings. And then I should pop on. Okay. Sorry, now you're seeing my other background. All right. I was on the library commission meeting and I came over. Yes, the airport we actually beat our enplanements from the year before last month, but international travel was down and we're seeing more people that are coming from from LA and things like that, and they're just doing these small jaunts and all that. But we definitely are, we're a little bit worried about May, is what Brian had told me, our airport director over there. And then I wanted to share that in the chat, Chair Michael had asked about it, and I said that, if we wanted to talk more about this, we probably could work through AOT, and Trace could reach out to Alex, the interim director, and see what they're working on and what they're concerned about. But I will probably say they're doing a little bit of what Trace is talking about, and that is looking at the drive market to kind of handle. And we've been doing this, after COVID, and we had such a hard time with international travel rebounding. we pivoted right away, which is why what Trace and the team did. And then there was another point I was going to make. Sorry that I'm rambling, but I had switching focus. Oh, yeah. Lori's team also around this time always talks about and Lori, I don't want to steal your thunder, but she will also be doing the staycation campaign. So we try to get our locals to make sure that if they don't have big plans to travel by plane or something like that, that there are so many things to do in their own community. So Lori, I'm sure you probably already have that on your discussion items. So I hope that's helpful, and we'll see. But so right now in payments, we're okay, but we are a little bit worried about May.
Yes.
Hi, this is Lori Pappas, Marketing and Media Relations VP. I am just because the conversation is leaning leaning toward this. I do want to share some observances that we've made through our data provider. And we can see, and this is looking at January 1, 2025 through April 19th, 2025. In case you're wondering why April 19th is the break point here, it's just because we need time to cleanse the data. So we feel that the data through April 19th is pretty darn accurate. So the information I'm going to share is comparing this year, July 1 to April 19th, to the previous year. Did I say July 1? No. So the data that we're going to compare is January 1, 2025 to 4/19/2025. And we're comparing it to the same dates year prior, January 1, 2024 to April 19th, 2024. Oh, go ahead, Heidi.
Lori, I have just another different comment about the airport, so you keep going.
Okay, sounds real good. All right, so what I'm sharing is top visiting DMAs, and I will share percents of change. So from Phoenix, it's a good story, and actually these are good stories. From Phoenix, the share of visitor days is 34.6. Total visitor days is just a little bit south of 250,000. The percent of change in visitors days have increased 5.84%. LA has a good story too, up 9.39. Albuquerque up 8.74. Tucson up 5.31. Vegas up 6.28. Denver up 8.71. And Salt Lake up 5.86. So there's a little bit of highlight there. It looks like Dallas is up 12% too. Now, we were talking dollars, and this is, so those were our top visiting DMAs. Now I'm going to share some spending because we do see some variances here. So Phoenix is up 2%. Albuquerque, I'm going to call them flat. They're up 0.64. We'll call it flat. LA is down 0.12. So that tells me too that they're probably staying with friends and family. Tucson is flat. They're up 0.11. Denver is flat, down 0.06. Dallas by a pinch is up 0.07. That too tells me when we look at the top DMAs and the increases that they're probably staying with friends and family. And the same story with Vegas. They're up 0.4. So there's a little. Yeah. We need to get clarity on that.
Pretty sure it would.
We need clarity on that. The reason I say that, Trace, is that we have fenced the hotels. And then I don't think we've fenced Airbnbs. So, but let me get clarity on that. I could be waffling here. Anyway, there's a little bit to that story too. Just another look at what's happening.
Okay. Do we have any other questions, Carrie?
I just wanted to, sorry, Trace, I'm going to interrupt. I just wanted to add something to the conversation about that. In the monthly report that I know all of you read, just kidding. The airport had just added a new flight booking widget. And so what that's going to help with is to track that data of who's traveling from where. And we're going to be able to provide that to Discover Flagstaff as well. Claire Harper, the communications manager at the airport, has just added that element, and she'll be able to offer that to Lori. And then they also had a 12% increase in employments for April. That's pretty darn good. So we're hoping that it won't, go down too much in May. But that tracking tool will be very helpful to us, and we'll be able to share that with the team and with you moving forward. Sorry, but thanks, Trace.
Sure, and we'll move on to earned media and let us know if you have any questions, even if they're go backs, that's fine.
Okay, that's my cue. Welcome, commissioners. Ryan Randazzo, Media Relations and Film Commission. Next slide, please. I'll go over the April results. We had 15 media assists for the month. That compares with 8 in the same month last year. We hosted 5 journalists that month. 1 was from Scotland, 4 were from Mexico. We had 3 in the same month last year. Worth mentioning, we also brought 46 journalists from across the US and some from overseas. They didn't stay the night, but they were in Phoenix for a conference. We got their bus up here. We hosted them at MNA. They were getting a lecture about the wildlife crossings that are now impeding traffic south of town. But because we hosted them, we talked to them briefly about Route 66. They got a meal from Eat and Run. They obviously got to tour the museum, so they got some indigenous culture. And I took 5 minutes to talk to them about dark skies because they were all environmental journalists. So not a full fam for those people, but nice exposure for media. Total articles generated. This again is provided by a software tracking system. We had 135 articles for the month. That compares with 124 for the same month last year. A lot of that increase, frankly, was Freaky Foot Tours expanded into Tucson, and they issued a news release that got picked up kind of across the state. But obviously that was nice because they started here. They're a family business. So all of the media coverage that they got, even though it was about an expansion into Tucson, was referencing Flagstaff and had pictures of Flagstaff. We also get a lot of exposure from the Overland Expo and Lowell, as usual, with their astronomers talking about comets and meteor showers. Film permits, we issued 1. It was a student project at Buffalo Park in April 2024. We had 2. We did have 4 film assists. And again, I list those because sometimes, even though we don't issue a permit, the assists are more meaningful projects. We had Maverick Gas Stations was poking around here to try and film a commercial. We had our PBS documentary came back to town to film. We had a PBS travel special was filming here. So again, that's why we reference those. Next slide, please, Ralph. These are just some of the highlights of the media coverage. Neon News in Las Vegas, that's a food and beverage website. We actually hosted that journalist all the way back in October, and he was writing for another publication at the time. He went back to Las Vegas. Plan was to have him promote Beer Week. He wrote his article, and Vegas Prime, the publication he worked for, went out of business. Thankfully, he found another publication, and he still gave us a really awesome article listing all 8 of our breweries. The next one there in the middle is Best of the Southwest. That's a website. We hosted that journalist and her daughter for a ski trip. She wrote an awesome story about learning to ski in Arizona and why snowball is the best place for beginners. That was on last month's report. She followed that up with a nice feature about Tinderbox. So that worked out well. The one on the right was thanks to Lori and Sabrina and our partners at Arizona Family, promoting us being the first international dark sky city. I mentioned that one because then there was a bunch of follow-on earned media thanks to their partnership there. So we had, when one TV station gets a story, then the other ones see it and pick it up. Next slide, please, Ralph. Okay, on the left side there, these are just more highlights. That's Sarah Morganson. She's a journalist who blogs, and we had hosted her last year, and she's done some awesome coverage. She got us on a national magazine featuring Salsa Brava, and she wrote a story about us being the best place for stargazing. Her blog is great because she listed us as #1. Occasionally it gets syndicated and picked up by newspapers around the country. So she's a really good person to know. On the right, Tim Richards, that was in the Sydney Morning Herald. He took what feels to me like an excruciating train trip from LA to Flagstaff and then back to Williams and then up to the Grand Canyon and back to Williams and back to Flagstaff. But we got a nice mention of our hotels that he stayed at in that story. So looking ahead, we had a program called Ghost Adventures filming in Flagstaff. They were here for a week. They filmed all over, so every haunted thing they could find. The best I could get, Isabel, I don't know if you want to take this one. She's a big fan.
Such a big fan.
Yeah, so it's a good Travel Channel program. The most they could tell me was that it would not air until sometime in 2026. But they had a crew of more than 20 people. They stayed at High Country Motor Lodge, and again, they were here for the whole week. Looking ahead, we'll have some good news in July when Phoenix Magazine publishes its travel awards. To the best of my knowledge right now, we have 4 Flagstaff awards that'll come out in that magazine. Really good for us.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to mention, because this is something that also is increasing media coverage for us, is Interstate 17. I'm sure anyone who's driven that is aware of ongoing construction. We have wildlife crossings just south of town. They're restricting it to 1 lane. There's a flex lane project, which I'm happy to talk to you about without taking all our time today. That's underway right now that should be finished by the end of the year, but just getting tons of media coverage, sometimes good, sometimes bad. This week, they opened a 3rd lane in each direction south of Black Canyon City, so that's good. But more important, in recent weeks, we've had this issue where Google Maps and Apple Maps will not update. I know ADOT is aware of this, but those mapping services keep showing Interstate 17 northbound as closed. So all of us that know better know that's not the case, but people who only travel here once or twice a year will, map like to their hotel, or I'm going to go to Dark Sky Brewing, and they put that in from Peoria, and it tells them to go through Payson. So yeah, obviously not ideal for us. ADOT has been trying to combat this with media and social media, posting like, hey, we know Apple says I-17 is closed. It's not closed, it's a reroute. So we are, trying to work with ADOT to, when this project is finished at the end of the year and we have a good story to tell that, these road projects that have been hampering travel, when that's all done, we really want to emphasize that and try and get as much earned media, not only to remind people that the roads are open and clear and all this headache that they maybe have been avoiding is gone, but also to remind them what's at the other end of I-17 and to come back if they've been delaying travel because of that. So that's it for me. Thanks.
All right.
All right, I'll pick up the torch here. Madam Chair and Commissioners, Isabel Medellino, Creative Services Specialist, Social Media here. Next slide, please. So looking at Facebook, we have a couple posts that went pretty viral. So we have a 35,580 in reach on that first one with 686 engagements. And that's just highlighting all of the astronomical events that are happening in our skies here in Flagstaff. And to kind of follow that, we did another astro post supporting the Starlight on the Square, and that also got a lot of reach and engagement. So again, folks like that astro content. Just to give you a comparison from last year, our fans this year are 95,359. Last year, we had 95,474. So we're steadily going up, but our engagements are going up alongside that. So yeah, next slide, please. Instagram this month kind of went a little fun this month. So as you can see, there's a meme on the first slide. So that went really popular, and I am still getting likes, comments, and shares on it to this day. So we have 13,420 in reach and 1,000 383 engagements. So a lot of folks were reposting them to their stories, which I thought was pretty neat.
I love what the meme was.
Oh, this one is the when the hike got perfectly maintained trails. Another highlight in that set is when the hike got a babbling brook or when the hike got big ravens. So it's just a simple little meme that folks find funny and really and shows our trails passport and different things you can find on our trails. So that was fun. That middle one is a trend that has been going around. It's the almost forgot that this is the whole point trend. Thought that would be a way to showcase cinematic shots. And do you have that? Is that link working? No, that's okay. We don't have to. And then we will see a post for National Pet Day, just emphasizing that, hey, we're #1 dog friendly, but not only that, we're pet friendly too. So we have that kitty up there. Our Instagram followers were 52,150 for this month. To compare this month last year, we had 47,254. So that's a couple thousand increase from last year. So pretty proud of that. Next slide, please. And April, also fantastic for HAPS this month. We had a pretty good open rate and our click-through rate pretty much stays the same at that 2%. Yeah, next slide, please. Looking ahead, more Trails Passport items. Of course, memes will probably come up. Fire awareness, of course. Route 66 Centennial, festivals, as always, and more memes. But it works and people like them. So let's see. Yes, do we engage on Blue Sky or TikTok? No, we'll have to go through a process to open a Blue Sky account. So we'll have to get an approval from legal to open that account. And then TikTok, we kind of moved away from just because of all of the controversies that have been happening. But I do still check on it often and we still get engagements and likes and shares of what we do have on there. We just haven't posted since October of last year. But I can look into posting on there again, just seeing how the team feels about TikTok, because I know still kind of up in the air, a little touchy about things. So yeah. Any other questions? Right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, commissioners. Sabrina Beard, marketing specialist for the Discover Flagstaff team. Here's a nice screenshot of our outward-facing emails to about 30,000 recipients with high propensity to visit Flagstaff. These are folks that have requested our visitor guide, opted into our email campaign, or leads sent over from a few different partners. So our very bottom email, that's our large master list receiving email. And then the other 3 emails above it, those are our trips. So we did see good growth in our master email, 16% increase in reach and 8% increase in open rate. We love seeing that the most clicked link was the Flagstaff Festival sweepstakes, because as we talked about in some previous meetings, our numbers are a little low on sweepstakes. Unfortunately, our sweepstakes slide might not tell the same story regarding entries. So we'll get more into that later. But our other most clicked links for the master email were the Flagstaff 365 events calendar and accommodations, which for the last year, maybe year and a half, accommodations have been in the top 3 click like every month. So we do love seeing that our email recipients are really engaged with what events are happening and where can they come and stay. Our dining email had an 84% increase in reach. We did see a slight dip in our open rate. It was a decrease of 2%. So hoping to get that back up. I do think that having some broad, more vague subject headline that's kind of open-ended to what people can find is a little more successful than having something that is more specific and niche, just so it caters to more of our audience. So maybe our next email will be more about patios than a specific cuisine. Our drip email also saw good growth. Our events drip saw 181% increase in reach. So that Flag 365 calendar click through, people are being segmented into this events drip when they're engaging with that link in our master email. And our outdoor drip saw 28% increase in reach, 3% increase in open rate. And that one was more focused towards the Overland Expo Festival. So still trying to find that balance between sharing something that everybody would be interested in or something very specific, because we've seen success in both styles. Let's go to the next slide, please. So our Flagstaff local newsletter, we did see a decrease in reach, so we'll have to reconnect internally to find different ways to promote Flagstaff local to our community. But we did see a 3% increase in our open rate, and our #1 clicked link was for the Sosta restaurant that just opened in that Rick's location. And after speaking with Caleb, he did say that he's seeing a lot of local support at Sosta. Our other top click links were eco-friendly restaurants, because we do have our eco-friendly restaurants page on the Discover Flagstaff website. And then also there was a clothing drive for NAU students that just helps supply their closets with, I forget the exact number, 2 or 3 full outfits of professional clothes for their interviews or starting new jobs, which seemed to be a really great initiative. So people were really interested to learn more about that, as it is a year-round occurrence. We'll go to the next slide, please. So our festival sweepstakes, it was the top clicked link in our master email campaign to 30,000 people. We're still seeing a 76% decrease in entries year over year. From previous calls, we did talk about blowing up the word free, which we did. Maybe we need to make it a little bit bigger. We're trying to get all the relevant information on there so people know what they're looking at, what they're entering for. So just a growing pain that we have to continue going through. And hopefully we'll be able to bridge that gap a little bit more as the festival season continues. And I'm kind of attributing this decrease in lack of trust online. I think once they go to a third-party website, I think maybe people get a little bit nervous with all of the hacking online, all the spam and scam going on. So Lori and I have lightly talked about maybe we need to move away from our sweepstakes platform box. We've really enjoyed using it over the years. It's really user-friendly, offers all the capabilities that we need and are looking for, but just again, the start of a conversation that we'll have more internally. Let's go to the next slide, please.
So Sabrina, real quick, it would be interesting to talk to WooBox and say, are others seeing the same thing?
Okay, I can do that. Here's our Route 66 passport. Because it launched in September, we don't have year-over-year comparisons, so we're comparing month over month. But we did see growth in April, is 4% increase compared to March, and it was that was for the passport signups, and we saw a 40% increase in total check-ins, which was very exciting. I would like our Trails passport to also start kind of mimicking the success, but it was one of the top clicked links in our Discover Flagstaff email from the month prior. And so I think people were just taking their time to look into it a little bit more, check it out on the website, come save the link and come back for it later to do that sign up, maybe share with their friends. And then also thinking that our check-ins, I'm looking exactly what people are checking into. Downtown is so popular, and we did spread out the check-ins so that people would be going beyond the east side, going to the Grand Canyon, going to Meteor Crater, and we did base our point system off of accessibility to the Route 66. If you're on Route 66, it's a 1 point, and if you go a little bit further out of the way, it's a higher where you get more points. So downtown is very popular, and it has continued to be very popular. So continuing to just plug it into different areas. I've partnered with NAU to get more representation in their email campaigns to their students and the parents coming for parents weekends and all of that good stuff. So hopefully just gonna get these numbers up more and more for family friendly. Let's go to the next slide, please. Trails Passport, we did see a 23% increase in signups. We have been pushing trails pretty heavily since January, just talking about the resolutions, and with the sun coming out, we did have a pretty nice winter. And then of course, when spring came around, we start pushing trails again for that spring. We did get quite a bit of snow. So we saw a decrease in our actual trail check-ins, just attributing that to some wet weather. But it's pretty nice out. So hopefully we have some more growth during May to report on next month. Let's go to the next slide. Website updates. I mentioned this last time. We're having more communication with Arizona Office of Tourism to get more and better representation for Flagstaff on their website. Unfortunately, they're in a content freeze right now. They're going through a website redesign. They are leaving their current website platform and going to another. So they're not adding content right now. We did get in just in time that they added some Route 66 information that reflected well on Flagstaff. But until July, we're just going to be sending them continuous edits, and they'll be saving it for when they're able to make it. We did point out a few things that were a little outdated that they said they could change now. So those conversations continue. We'll have more updates in the future. Let's go to the next slide, please. Looking ahead, of course, more festival marketing support. Another thing that we previously discussed was how to engage our sweepstakes a little bit more with our viewers. So we have partnered with several hotels, including the Embassy Suites. Thank you. So we are offering package deals where people are getting admission for themselves and a lucky +1, as well as a hotel stay for one night. And we're doing 2 giveaways per month. So hopefully that gets our sweepstakes numbers up as well. But just continuing to find different ways to shout out our festivals, give them a little more representation. Our festival sweepstakes in the past was just an all-encompassing whoever provided festival admission or food and beverage vouchers, merchandise, stuff like that. Everyone was kind of tagged in with the overall festival content, but we're trying to get a little more specific about it to get that excitement and hype online. We did just talk about website updates, a few things for the Discovered Flagstaff website, continuing updating partner business listing pages. We do provide listing forms to all of our partners, and we do rely on our partners to provide the information that is listed on their page. So what I'm starting to do is when I see a page that maybe has a pretty basic input that we did just to fill the space because we weren't provided with anything, I'm going to different websites and I'm pulling blurbs from their home pages just to fill out our content a little bit more. So now that it's summer, almost, we're going to start putting in fall landing page updates. So that's coming real soon for our planners that are booking online and all that good stuff. And then we do have a stakeholder calendar. This was launched like right before COVID. So it got a little bit buried in the back end of our website, but we are bringing this content forward with updates and events. So all of our commissioners today, please send me what you'd like to see represented on the stakeholder calendar. I'm getting started with populating festivals, and yeah, any information that people can come and attend your businesses, let me know and I will get it on there.
Office Marketing and Media Relations VP, jumping in on the conversation relative to the stakeholder calendar. That was actually a suggestion and a product by the commissioners, again, pre-COVID. So the team is working on bringing that asset forward and usable. And really what the call to action here was, the reason that we stood up that calendar was for the purpose of providing our partners such as restaurants and breweries and hoteliers
a bird's eye view of how they should staff their business. So we were hearing that some of these partners were unaware that XYZ Festival was occurring this weekend and they were slammed, but they did not staff accordingly. So that's what this calendar is designed to do. So when Sabrina is sharing that she's going to be populating festivals, it is for the very reason that this calendar is there, is to let the community know, the businesses know that this is happening on this date and they might want to consider staffing up. Thank you.
Yeah, so next month I'll have a nice screenshot of what our stakeholder calendar looks like, and I can include the link for everybody. And then, of course, all things Route 66 Centennial, including event planning. So I'm getting really involved with getting quotes from event planners, putting together a proposal for them to get those quotes. So that is fun and new and different from what I typically do. So more soon on that. And we did just launch our summer Be Cool sweepstakes this past weekend. So I'll have updates on that next month comparing to last year. So that is it for me. I will hand it over to Lori Pappas.
Thank you, Sabrina. Again, Commissioners, Lori Pappas, Marketing and Media Relations VP. Sabrina was just concluding her presentation on Be Cool, and the information in front of you, the 4-page insert. Yep, that is the launch of the Be Cool sweepstakes. So as we talk about the drive market and what we're doing, Commissioners, I hope you can hear what our various verticals are accomplishing in the drive market. And this insert that is in front of you landed in the Arizona Republic just on Sunday. So it's the week following Mother's Day by design, and then leading into this big holiday weekend. So that's what's in front of you right now. So looking at our paid digital results, just want to send a reminder to everybody listening that our goal for click-through rates is between 1.2 on the low side, but still appreciated at 1.2. And then at the high end is a 0.18. So for the month of April, I'm sharing that our Arizona Stellar retargeting creative, which is on the far right, just continues to perform. So that astrotourism subject matter is just gaining momentum, which you'll see is on the cover of this insert that's in front of you for those that are attending in person. That as Stellar retargeting creative had a 0.24 click-through rate. We do serve that programmatically. So the first serve I'll define as programmatically. So we're targeting people that have an interest in astrotourism, perhaps have an interest in the Grand Canyon, a propensity to visit, family in tow. So the first ad is programmatic, and programmatically the ad is a 0.20. Primarily the difference between the programmatic creative versus the retargeting creative is the retargeting creative has a very, very strong call to action. And you can see that on the far right where it says, book your stay now. The beauty between or with the retargeting is we know that they've been served an ad, they've been exposed, and we all know that people are consuming media differently, sometimes during a hyper busy time and a hyper busy environment. And so if they're interacting with that first serve at 0.20, that's a win. We come back and serve them again and they're responding with a 0.24, it's another big win. So good news there. Wildlife watching, we heard that a little bit from Ryan in regards to the bridge that's being developed south of Flagstaff on 17. Wildlife watching had a 0.19 click-through rate. And I was on a call just before this meeting with Destinations International, speaking with journalists. There were 3 on the call, and many, I shouldn't say many, there was a big call for wildlife watching, particularly bird watching. So, anyway, it's certainly the time and it's relevant, it's resonating. And then, be fire aware, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more, I think, into this presentation, but Be Fire Aware has launched. We've had segments air on both channels 3 and 12, 12 being the NBC affiliate. Channel 3 is a local network, but is also a brother to the CBS affiliate in Phoenix. We'll go to the next slide. Any questions? Okay. This is a new slide. I hope you guys like it, but I think it really tells a story with a bird's eye view. Oh, good. Thank you. I do want to call attention to the lower left, the average engagement time per session. We are down 2% year over year, but you guys have to understand that, you know, you hear us talk about, particularly on the website, that we are hitting, we're pacing at a high level. And we are pacing at a high level. And so what I wanted to show there is that 50 seconds is the industry benchmark. So it really makes my teeth itch when we have a negative, but the negative is really a positive.
And it's still a long time.
It's a long time to be on a website. It is. Yes, it is. Thank you for saying that. All right, let's go over to our next slide, and we're going to look at some website behavior. Domestic engaged sessions grew just shy of 2%. Phoenix was up 24%. They had more than 13,000 engaged sessions. Scottsdale, Trace is just keeping the throttle down on driving some Scottsdale impressions, and that market increased almost 17%. Glendale increased 62%. LA was a little bit soft, 38%. And Las Vegas was up 21%. International engaged sessions did have some growth from Mexico. Mexico was up 144%. So they grew to 773 engaged sessions versus 317. Japan was giving us some attention. They went currently at 550 compared to 47. So there was some big interest there. France was flat, Canada decreased, and Germany decreased, and then Australia also had a little bit of a tick down by 2%. So that's kind of supporting the conversation earlier in regards to international travel. Top performing landing pages. Next slide, please. Webcam sessions increased 36%. You guys, that's no surprise, right? Because we're talking about the weather and what was happening. Let's see. Things to do did have a decrease, but the average engagement time for that page increased 5.74. Snowometer increased. That's a telling story, right, with the webcams. Events were flat, and festivals increased 43%. Good news here. The visitor guide had 366 requests. Those are people spending time on the website, probably over a minute, and now they're requesting the visitor guide. And then we had nearly 3,600 outbound links to our pages. The website is a machine for visitors. The top receivers included Arizona Snow Bowl, 3 national monuments, Lowell, the Arboretum, and the Orpheum. Good stuff. Next slide. You all had a chance to review this deck. This just is a brief look at our engagement rate. We'll take it. Next slide. Festivals. We're keeping pace. It's nice. And you guys, festivals, those are going to be primarily drive market. So you can see that they're already digging in, looking to see what kind of programming, what kind of motivation is there for them to get to Flagstaff. And then the next slide, we're going to talk about some of the Be Fire Aware support, because I know that there's been some conversation with our commissioners about what's going on and so forth. In this particular look, we're going to talk about the responsible visitation side. So we did have a lifestyle segment air 2 days ago. And it featured one of our wildland firefighters. And it just talked about responsible visitation. And it's just nice coming from an authority like that meaning a wildfire expert. It's easy, it's natural, it's authentic, I guess. So reaching our number one drive market. And then we talked about the Arizona Republic. What I didn't say though, and I may have said it in a previous meeting, is that the distribution on this piece is 200,000 just in hard copies. And then in addition, there's another 200,000 delivered via digital. The Arizona Department of Transportation, they are posting rest area signage at Sunset Point, McGuireville, Christensen, and Parks. And the copy points on that are all about being fire aware. Those signs will stay up. They will be evergreen. So we will change the messaging out to reflect responsible visitation during winter recreation season.
Can I just add to that, be fire aware locally? So I got the door hanger in my gas bill. Have you all received the door hanger in your gas bill? That promotes the be fire aware. And then the other side of the door hanger, it's for locals and it's in your gas bill, is in case of evacuation. So there's a sign that this residence has been evacuated. Regina, but you can take a photo. I was gonna bring it. I forgot to put it on my table.
Or branding or?
It's that Be Fire Aware logo and it's a door hanger. So I'll take a photo of it. It's two-sided and it checked my gas bill, right? So yeah, it was in my gas bill. So. Yeah,
Thanks for sharing that. And
this month, yeah.
yeah, Commissioner, I would really appreciate seeing that.
Yeah.
Totally unaware.
Yes, I'll take a photo of it and email to it.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. So looking ahead, we have a 4th of July drone show planned. We're working in tandem with our pros team. The drone show will be July 4th, occurring around 9:10 p.m. Definitely after dusk. We are pushing out creative. We are speaking points and experience points as far as where can we view the show, what do we need to do to prepare for the drone show. And all of that is on our Discover Flagstaff website. You can search drone show and the page will populate. It's the 4th of July events page.
We have a handout.
Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Hey, Lori, I wanted to add to that. I recently spoke with Hunter in downtown, and he said that they were planning to do something in the square with a movie, and now he's thinking to do an earlier movie for the kids and then to do the footage of that drone show like you were hoping on the screen after that. And so I just wanted you to know you could reach out to him and chat with him a little bit more about your thought on that, because I said it to him in passing and he seemed very interested in helping us make sure that the group that gathers in that downtown area stays in that downtown area and doesn't have to find more parking, right? To go find it or view it in a different way. We could just keep the people that are in the square. So just something you could do and chat with them on. Thanks.
Very good, Heidi. Thank you. It was my understanding that I think, is it Creative Flagstaff that has the square that night?
4th of July, yes, Art Walk. Happens to be an Art Walk.
Okay, so who do we work with to coordinate that screen?
I think I would probably just, why don't you and Julie maybe discuss how you feel about if he were to do anything with the screen? And if that's a no, then maybe he could set it up on that.
Let's check in after this so I can make sure I know.
Yeah, we just talk about it offline, but he maybe he thought that he forgot that you had it. I don't know. But anyway, you guys can talk offline.
It just sounds real good. Yeah, we'll want to chat about that. All right, thanks, Heidi. All right, so we're pretty excited about that drone show. Remember last year we did some activations downtown, and we did not have anything planned for the evening. So this will be nice to add to our things to do. And this information, like I said, is live on the website right now. And it is going to be a heavy lift. I mean, we have to educate the locals and the visitors on what to do. Remember too, we've got the construction on Cedar. Jen is Jennifer Shaver on the call? Yes. Yeah. She's done a great job. Commissioners, if you can, please look at that website. Oh, here it is. There's a map in this lower, you can see it in the bottom, but you really can't see the detail and the beauty of it. There's so much detail in this, and it is going to get beefed up. We are hopeful to be adding businesses that give us the thumbs up to say, hey, you can park here, or this would be a good viewing location. So we're hoping to grow the information, enhance the information that is on this page. You can see 3 radius rings. The big red dot is Coconino High School, and that's where the drones will be launched. And then the closest circle there, and inside that circle, as you go into that red dot, those are going to be the primary best views, best experiences for the drone. As you go behind Cedar Avenue, kind of toward the top of the graphic, your viewing experience is going to be compromised. If we are spelling out words or are having a very distinctive left to right read on an image, it will be reversed behind the drone. The second radius would be a good place, not the best place, but you're gonna get a good viewing experience. And then that third ring is experience. And then the things too, when you're talking to your neighbors or the public about these 3 radiuses, is always keep in mind that if you are standing next to a building, it's going to be compromised. If you're standing in the middle of a forest, lots of trees, it's likely going to be compromised, could be compromised. So again, it's a big education as far as what we can experience here. All right, next slide. Any questions with the drone show? All right.
It's gonna be a good spot.
Thank you. Yep. Looking ahead, still Route 66 continues to be a big focus of our day-to-day marketing planning and execution. And then we are in the process right now of working with a vendor of doing an audit on our website. I shared with you maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, just the AI bump with Google Analytics and how organic content is resonating at the top and sponsored content is just a little bit of a different rodeo. So we're trying to be a leader there and really trying to get ahead of that. Next slide, please. All right, that looks like the final in the presentation, as certainly seeking comments or input from commissioners at this point. For a final point.
Thinking about 4th of July and getting the word out, are you gonna use social media to
Yes.
share the maps and?
Yes. And I'll have them pinned on our Instagram pages as well. So it'll be all up top.
Yes, we can make it.
And Chair too, I can share not only are we leveraging social media, but we've got some paid media behind this too, reaching the Phoenix and Tucson markets. Plus we've got, we're leveraging outdoor billboards. So we've got 12 boards rotating from Glendale to Mesa, from Deer Valley, Anthem area to like Gilbert. Does that sound Gilbert? east, that's south.
Sunset.
Can be,
Oh,
yeah. So we've got some great coverage. So we've got digital, we've got print, we've got social.
were we gonna do any
Burn.
mailers or is that still on the table?
It's still on the table. I've put it out there. Yeah. But I'm afraid we're running out of time.
Radio.
Yes, so there has been conversation with CAF Radio. I have not seen a contract or a proposal yet. I should be seeing that by tomorrow. So that will help locally as well. We do have a badge front page running on Flagstaff Business News for the month of June because July will miss that deadline. And then we do have some paid placement in the Arizona Daily Sun. I'm good.
Okay, no further questions? Comments on that? So Madam's Chair, Vice Chair, Commission, thanks for letting us present. And I'll turn it back over to you.
You know, one more thought on that. I'm thinking of front desk agents at hotels. I'll call all the time and want what's going on, what's happening. There's any way we can get that into their hands. So can Flag Caps do that for us?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, yeah. I can send you the sign up link as well for all of that, because it comes in an email blast, so.
They have that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to send it over to you.
Actually, too, to that point, I wonder, are we printing the flyer for the visitor center for hard copies?
We currently, the
Perhaps?
visitor center prints it. So the,
Not halves,
Oh.
the actual flyer. That Jen created, that 8.5 by 14.
for the 4th of July or?
To be at the visitor center,
For
which I
the
think
drone
is a
show,
good idea.
drone show, like our website content.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely get that over.
Yeah, and we'll talk about format and what we're gonna need, maybe get with Jessica. Because I bet those are gonna be handed out left and right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're going to.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, is Meg still online? Or just for everyone? It was in the news sometime this week or last weekend that an announcement that there will be a direct flight from Phoenix to Taiwan. The beginning of 2026, Starlux Airlines. So this will be the first nonstop direct flight from Phoenix to Asia. Just something to watch. Other than me, I'm very excited about this news, and maybe this can also boost our visitation from.
And let me see, next meeting will be June 26th. And we're gonna be meeting in the council chambers.
We have a handout.
Heidi, your hand is up.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you guys 2 updates on the airport. The grab and go has been installed in the terminal, as well as in the hold room. And Ralph did some beautiful artwork for it, in the, terminal area, and he's working on some for the hold area. It, is missing one piece, which will be coming in very soon. And, then the visitor center's part of it, the micro visitor center, is getting installed. The glass came in and they placed that through Loving Contracting, and now they're working on some other things. Trace did us a very big favor, and along with his team at the visitor center, got his liquor license to be the agent. Our airport director was running in all ways, and Trace stepped in for me, and I really appreciate that. That liquor license will go before council on June 3rd. And then we'll be able to offer single serve and wine and beer, things like that. And we'll go through that what we have to do with procurement on that, and some more to come. And then last but not least, Claire Harper, the communications manager, and Brian, the airport director, as well as council member Lori Matthews, who's the liaison to the commission, will be going the second week in June to a conference called Jumpstart. And this is where we speed date with airlines to talk to them about the latest and greatest, to get them, to bring us service. Never in the history of the time that I did this with Barney did we ever have as many of appointments as they're going to be having. And they have to actually, you request the appointments and they have to actually agree to the appointments. It's a really crazy model. They have received 10 appointments in a 2-day span to meet with airlines. And so that is a really, really good thing. It means that they're highly interested in our market. So we are working on that. And then if the SCADS grant, which is a small community air service grant, if that, it's a federal grant, so there's some things going on with all that. If it does get released in July, we will apply for it. And United Airlines said that they would write us a letter of recommendation saying that they would bring their flight to Denver back if we received the grant. So there's a lot of really, really cool things going on. And I just want to let you know, if you think Discover Flagstaff is working hard, so is that airport team, because we know how vital it is for you to get these customers to you sooner. So at any rate, I wanted to share that good news. And I hope that if you're at the airport, you will use our grab and go services. We did keep the kitchen in place. It's behind a closed door. So if we ever grow big enough and we can make the numbers work, Michael and Jamie have been very helpful in giving us some information on what would work for a true restaurant bar to be out there. And right now we just don't have the employments for it. But in the future, if we are able to get there, we've kept it intact just in case. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi, for that information.
I just received the final numbers from our terms of servicing trash pickup yesterday. If I could share that really quick. And Donna's another high note of many that we shared today, but we had our most successful trash pickup yesterday in regard to the amount of weight that was retrieved. 226 pounds of trash, 31 pounds of recycling, and 10 pounds of glass and metal. But yeah, that 226 pounds of trash is huge. So for a total of 268 pounds. So thank you to our commissioners who joined us and all the Discover Flagstaff team as well.
There was some heavy
Did that include the weight of the shopping carts?
It does, but minus the weight of the shopping carts, it was still our most successful pickup because we had 128 pounds of trash without the shopping carts. Still our largest pickup.
Hey, shopping carts count.
Yeah.
What's going on
They
here?
counted.
It was Ellen's hose that did it.
She worked hard on that hose.
I was the host of the day.
Ellen, we did share a host story.
The host story.
Good job.
Team's aware of the host story.
I took down some dead sunflower trees, plants, bushes. And then Heidi, I'll be at the airport next week, so I'm so excited to experience the new visitor center offerings.
Thank
there.
you. And you know what? Anything you could do to post and to use their social, that would be greatly appreciated. Just trying to let people know that might have been upset for a while when they, they don't have coffee services and things like that, that now they're back. So I appreciate that.
That's great news. Do you have any other announcements? We're early today. All right, perfect. A shout out to Carrie for keeping us in line and for getting the agenda out to us finally yesterday. Thank you for that. All right, we will see everybody next month. We're in the council chambers, just a quick reminder. Yeah. Thank you for all that you guys do.